Well, so you mentioned that you may be looking at a future UFC card, hopefully when it's back in Australia.
Yep.
What are kind of the chances do you think, of getting on that card, or what's the kind of next steps for you?
Well, first things first is obviously I want to get myself, back to 100%. So I want to fully rehab my knee, and then take it from there. But if I was, I'm already talking to my manager about pushing me to get onto that UFC Perth card in June. So hopefully when this heals and I get medically cleared to fight, then I'll be more than likely be on that card. So awesome.
I bet the UFC would have appreciated you stepping up.
They did. They really did appreciate me stepping up and filling up a spot for them, because they know what's at risk for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had the undefeated record.
Oh yeah.
This was someone mentioned that it was that, like, in MMA, when you take a loss, it's like not nearly as bad of a hit as like in boxing, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get like some losses on your stat sheet, then that kind of like maybe ruins or like has a much bigger impact on how people see you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Floyd Mayweather, who achieved the 50 wins and 0 losses, sort of like made that a thing, because obviously he's undefeated. Obviously he makes the most money. It's like having that clean slate makes you seem more.
There's a bit of a mystique about you.
Yeah, like that, and it's like to the casual fan, it's like they look at that and like, oh well, no one was able to beat this guy, so they automatically assume how good this guy is just because nobody's beaten. But you could bash 28 trash cans, you know what I mean, tomato cans, and get an undefeated record. But what does that really mean until you fight somebody that's a good fighter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean you look at a guy like Conor, who's had a few like high profile losses. He's got beaten up in a couple of fights, but he's still the number one guy.
Yeah, he is. But he's fighting the best competition out there.
He is, and he takes them. He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
I really like that about him. That he wants to go and fight, knowing that he won't get beat up.
Exactly. Like he goes out and just fights. So you got to commend that. You know what I mean? You got to commend somebody that's going to go out there and fight the best, and he doesn't care about undefeated record or not, or looking stupid in front of people.
Yeah.
He says what he thinks he's going to do and goes out and tries to do it. So you got to commend a guy like that.
Who are your favourite guys to watch? Who are you a big fan of at the UFC at the moment?
At the moment, man, there's a lot of guys that like I said, I'm just a big fan of this sport. There's Dominic Cruz, who I've been following for the longest time. He's probably, in my opinion, the greatest bantamweight in all of MMA.
Yeah.
And then I've obviously like Israel Adesanya. I love his fighting style. You know what I mean? Like being able to switch up, fight both stances as well. Predominantly more of a striker, long rangey.
What did you think of UFC 248? There was obviously the awesome women's fight between Weili Zhang and Joanna.
Yeah.
And then there was a hard act to follow for Izzy and Yoel Romero.
I think the crowd there and a lot of people that are watching obviously got that bloodlust of like they seen a fight like that, like one of the greatest fights ever. To back that up on top of like, to follow that through, like it's tough. But with the game plan with those two, that fight, the way it played out, I think is exactly the way Izzy approached it, is the way he should have approached it. Like, you got a guy like Yoel who can at any second explode and put your lights out, and then for Izzy, he just picked at him, and if he's not getting a reaction, Izzy is more of a counter fighter, so he's waiting for you to do something for him to counter. Okay, so with Izzy trying to probe a reaction, not getting the reaction, it's not, he really can't set the tempo. So he usually does best against guys that come forward at him, like his last fight, which was with Whittaker who was trying to get to him, and he was able to capitalize and be able to knock him out from him coming forward. So it's that a lot of people watch that and be like, oh, it's a boring fight, but he did what he had to do. At the end of the day, winners get remembered, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So losers, they forget about them. So winners make history. Winners are the guys that get remembered. So he did everything, and he had so much to lose. His undefeated record, to lose his title, he just had to pick at him. He did the right thing instead of trying to please a few drunken fans. You know what I mean? So it's like, he did the right thing, in my opinion.
Well, what would you say your fighting style is? So like, he's on the outside counter fighter. Do you have a style in particular?
I'm much the same, but I feel like I'm more of a proactive counter striker, which means I will come forward, and force you to counter back at me. And then once you've started to counter back at me, I feel like that's when I start to capitalize on you, on your weaknesses, on you opening yourself up. But yeah, very similar. I feel like I can fight both stances. I don't know. I fight everywhere, so it's tough to say. It's hard to explain what. Maybe if you could ask one of my opponents what my style is like.
Yeah, they'd be able to say it
maybe
better.
they can say it better. But